it just seems like the whole Kawhi Leonard saga is being swept underneath the rug a little bit. You know, it was talked about briefly, had some buzz. So let's just dive into it. So Kawhi Leonard was initially supposed to play for Team USA here in 2024 on the Olympic team. And the Clippers stepped in and said, no way, no how. Sorry, Kawhi Leonard, you're not playing. And it's hilarious to me. Ain't no way the Los Angeles Clippers legit put Kawhi Leonard in basketball timeout on their watch. They just put Kawhi Leonard in the corner and said, you can't play real basketball until we say so. That's the timeout corner the Los Angeles Clippers put Kawhi Leonard in. Now, let me say this really quickly. I don't blame the Clippers because the Clippers see this Kawhi Leonard situation that they're in and they say, we're trying to win a championship. Kawhi Leonard was brought to the Los Angeles Clippers to help the Clippers potentially take over Los Angeles. And there's been some good moments. They made it to a conference finals at one point with Kawhi Leonard. Now he got hurt, in that playoff run, so unfortunately they weren't able to complete, the quest of winning a championship. But for the most part, outside of that one playoff run, it's been a lot of disappointment for Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. And if you're the Clippers organization, look, I've got no problem with them doing what they did. They're exercising their power as the big boy of the company and saying, Kawhi, look, we understand you love the Olympics and Team USA, but we got to step in here. This is a business decision for us. So I get it, but it's like the 76ers didn't do this with Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's had as many injury concerns as Kawhi Leonard has of recent, and they didn't step in for Joel Embiid. Kevin Durant has been injured a lot the past 3 to 4 years. The Phoenix Suns didn't step in for him and say, Kevin Durant, you can't play for Team USA. The Lakers with Anthony Davis, they didn't do that to Anthony Davis. They didn't say you can't play on Team USA basketball, Anthony Davis. So why is this relevant with Kawhi Leonard? Why am I making a big point about this? Here's the thing, people. I believe Kawhi Leonard should request a trade away from the Los Angeles Clippers. Let me tell you why. Because here's the thing. Kawhi Leonard should be viewed as an NBA superstar. And him playing on Team USA, that should be looked at as Kawhi Leonard's choice and Kawhi Leonard's choice only, bottom line. If I'm Kawhi Leonard, I built up the clout, I built up the resume to make it all about me. If I want to play on Team USA, darn the Clippers organization. I don't care. Now, maybe Kawhi Leonard ultimately just gave in and said, you know what, if the Clippers want to tell me what to do, whatever. I don't really care. And it seems like Kawhi Leonard just had to cave in. But if you're Kawhi Leonard, how are you going to take this? I don't think Kawhi Leonard is going to ask for a trade out of Los Angeles. I think that he is comfortable playing in Los Angeles. And hey, if that's Kawhi Leonard's journey, that's Kawhi Leonard's journey. But if I am in Kawhi Leonard's shoes, I'm exercising my power here. Because it's not like the Clippers told Kawhi Leonard in advance, hey, you need to not play for Team USA. They did this while Kawhi Leonard already arrived in Vegas, was already practicing with Team USA. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Clippers are acting like the childish and I shouldn't even say childish and no good parents. They're acting like the annoying parents coming out of nowhere saying, today I'll strip my kids' ability to play video games. I'll just randomly say, sorry, Jimmy, you can't play video games until I say so. And that's what the Clippers did. They told Kawhi Leonard, you can't perform in the Olympics just randomly out of nowhere because we say so. And if you're a superstar level player like Kawhi Leonard, to me, if the Clippers want to do that, that's on them. But if I'm in Kawhi Leonard's shoes, that's a decision I'm not allowing them to make. It's my judgment to live with the consequences of what I do. And the Clippers seem like they're just controlling Kawhi Leonard. And good for the Clippers because that's great business for them. But if you're just looking at Kawhi Leonard's brand, this is not a good thing. For him, at least, if I'm Kawhi Leonard, I'm a little pissed off. Why are the Clippers dictating this, and why did they not communicate with me early on in the process before I got to the Team USA practices that they were uncomfortable with me potentially performing for Team USA? And when it comes to the Clippers, this is the last part of the reason why I believe Kawhi Leonard should request a trade away from the Clippers. The Clippers right now, as we speak, if we're being completely honest, they are not a true NBA championship contender. They just lost Paul George in free agency. And I'm not saying Paul George is the end-all, be-all for championship hopes, but your chances decrease when you lose a good player like Paul George, who was a guy that plays defense, a guy that can facilitate and play make for you, and also score when needed. Paul George is still a very, very good, reliable NBA player that can be a part of winning basketball. But he's no longer there. You have James Harden there, obviously, and Harden, there's still a little bit of juice left in the tank, but it's been about 4 years since James Harden was a great / elite level player in the NBA. It's been about 4 years since that has happened, and Harden has fallen off every single year more and more. It just seems like he's getting worse and worse as time is going on. He's not aged that gracefully, and his game come postseason time, it's not all that reliable. I'm sorry, but when it comes to James Harden, I love James Harden. He's one of my favorite players of all time, but Harden come playoff time, if that's your second best option, then right now, 2024, 2025, you're kind of screwed a little bit. And when it comes to teams like the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the T-Wolves, the Boston Celtics, the Clippers just don't match up from a roster standpoint. I do think that there are some good pieces. They could be a playoff team once again. But Kawhi Leonard's health, James Harden's uncertainty, Paul George leaving in free agency, this Clippers championship window for Kawhi Leonard, to me, has closed. Now, I'm not sure what the market is going to look like for Kawhi Leonard. Let me be very clear. I'm not really sure what that market would look like, considering the fact that Kawhi Leonard has dealt with some injuries. He's getting a little bit older, and there's the question of how many games is he going to play? Is Kawhi Leonard going to show up, come playoff time? And this is not a shot at Kawhi Leonard. A lot of it has to do with health. How healthy is Kawhi Leonard going to be? And the thing about Kawhi Leonard is he's not a guy that pumps out 70-game regular seasons each and every year just because he gets injured a lot. So you raise the question, is it worth giving up assets to go out there and get Kawhi Leonard, a guy who's been the best player on a championship team in the past, but has dealt with a lot of injuries? We wonder, is he going to be able to play because of those injuries? How effective will he be? And let's be real, is Kawhi Leonard still at the peak of his powers? I really don't think so. I think that this is a lesser version of what Kawhi Leonard used to be, especially on defense. Offensively, there's still some juice there for sure. When Kawhi Leonard's healthy, I think he's one of the 12 best basketball players in the world still to this day. Maybe even a little bit higher, if he cranks it up a little bit. But it's like, what version of Kawhi Leonard are you going to get? We just really don't know. He's not getting any younger. Now, I will say, teams like the Orlando Magic, teams like the Miami Heat, teams like the Los Angeles Lakers, teams like the Sacramento Kings, teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder. Those are about 5 teams that I think should really, truly be in the Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes if Kawhi Leonard were to ask for a trade. You look at the Orlando Magic, they have a lot of good young pieces, some draft capital, and they have a superstar potential level player in Paolo Banchero that can carry the load if Kawhi Leonard is a lesser version of himself. And it seems like Orlando needs another superstar. Kawhi Leonard could fit into that defensive culture for them. They're an up-and-coming young team. The Miami Heat have been begging for another superstar-level player to pair alongside Jimmy Butler, who's not getting any younger himself. That could be a fit. Maybe the Lakers swap out Anthony Davis for Kawhi Leonard. If I'm the Lakers, I probably don't do that. But hey, who knows? Maybe he's a better fit next to LeBron James. The OKC Thunder, they've acquired all these young talented players and all these draft picks. Why not use some of that capital to go out there and get a proven, really good star player in Kawhi Leonard? Although I don't know if I would do that if I'm Oklahoma City and Sacramento. They've got some good players and maybe one extra move that could put them in that championship picture. We'll see. But that's how I feel if I'm Kawhi Leonard. I just feel like I've been lowballed and disrespected by the Clippers the way they've done business. And I just don't think this Clippers team is good enough to win a championship. So why am I staying here? So I think Kawhi Leonard should request a trade from the Clippers. And I don't think anyone would put on a super duper big frowny face if Kawhi Leonard were to do this, simply because, Kawhi Leonard's already had multiple stops already. The only thing that's going to change Kawhi Leonard's legacy is more deep playoff runs. Like, if he switches teams here or there, like some people say, Kawhi Leonard, he's switching teams, he's doing this, that, and the third. That could be a little bit of a dark side of his legacy. But if it's for the better and he wins a championship, that's only going to improve his legacy. So that's how I feel about Kawhi Leonard. I think his time with the Clippers is just up, and it's time for him to move on. Both parties, ultimately. Because if you're the Clippers, why not blow this thing up? Why not blow this thing up? Because I don't think that you're close to a championship right now. And Kawhi, Harden, not getting any younger. And yeah, that's how I feel.